What's going on, everybody? Josh Pocock here, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can use n8n, a free Zapier or make.com alternative that you can use to replace your current Make or Zapier scenarios. What I'm going to show you how to actually build on n8n today is a YouTube channel scraper. All right, the same concepts I teach you in this video today can be applied to any single scraper. All right, I've done videos on Twitter scrapers, Instagram scrapers, YouTube scrapers, Facebook scrapers, you name it. Let's dive right into it. All right, so if you're new to this channel, like I said, I've done videos on different scrapers and different tutorials on automations, etc. And most of them, quite frankly, have been using make.com. Now, am I still going to continue using Make? Yes. What do I use n8n for? Well, honestly, since using n8n and I am fairly new to it. I'm learning very quickly, but I'm definitely not a master yet. But I will show you, and I'll explain it in a way where it's very, very simple. So you can literally just follow me, even if you're a beginner, even if you don't know anything about code, even if you don't even know what n8n is. I'm going to show you and explain it in a very easy to understand way. To get into it, n8n, like I said, it's a free alternative to Zapier or Make. Now, there is, if you go to the pricing on their website, n8n.io, there's different plans here. Now, these plans right here, for me, they really don't make sense in terms of pricing, etc. These are if you're using their servers, and I would honestly just never do that. I mean, it is a good tool, so the thing is, in terms of their pricing of their that actual hosted tool, it's not comparable to Make in terms of the pricing. You get way more executions with Make. Now, some people may prefer n8n because it gives you more freedom. There's more functionality. There's a lot more you can actually do in n8n that I found, at least. I'd say Make, if anything, just has, I haven't found a limitation in n8n that Make has. Let me know maybe if you have found something like that. But pretty, universally, people say that n8n just has more freedom. If anything, Make has more limitations. And I've heard a lot of people say too that Zapier, they've seen more limitations within Zapier than Make. So, I mean, but I don't know. Some people actually just say, I don't know, Zapier is really good too. So it's hard to say, but n8n, long story short, it has a lot of functionality. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say here. But let's go over to Make here. The reason why I love Make, but I am on the 40,000 operations per month plan, and as you can see, I'm at 118,000 operations in this last month. I've been using a lot of operations, and they've been building up. A lot of that is due to scraping and this and that. So I thought, hey, well, if there's a free alternative where I can actually make these scenarios where I'm not just blowing through operations, that'd be ideal. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos on this channel about scraping, we like to use a tool called Apify. All right, Apify, I'm not going to dive through it too in depth here. I've checked out some of my other videos, but I will basically explain that it is a scraping tool that involves no code. I'm going to show you here in just a second. Let me just pull it up here. All right, and it really involves no code, and there's a lot of different actors. Right now, I'm on the $50 a month plan. I've gone a bit over, as you can see here, but you get credits. They last pretty good, and yeah, you can scrape YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, etc. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do it with YouTube, but the same principles apply to pretty much any platform, whatever actor you're using here. Now, the thing about n8n is it does have a lot of integrations, but one integration it does not have is Apify. So that's what we're going to be using here. So you may be wondering, okay, well, how do we do it if it doesn't have an Apify integration? Well, I'm going to show you and answer that exactly. So if you don't have n8n, first of all, I did 2 videos in the last 2 days. One is showing you how to host n8n on your home server. The second is showing you how to host n8n on your on a virtual server, a virtual private server, VPS, or You could use anything really. You could use a virtual dedicated server, but for the simplicity, just any server you have, you're able to host it on. I recommend Contabo just because you're going to get the best bang for your buck. That's what I found. So if you want to figure out how to host it on your own server, and I would suggest if you're going to actually be doing, if you're going to be really using n8n, I would suggest doing it on an actual server, not your home server. It just doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to do it on your home server. Get a server, spend the time, go through my last video, and there's documentation on n8n's website as well. If you go to documentation showing you how to self-host it, very simple. Even if you don't know anything about code or command prompt or whatever the case is, it will walk you through it. Anyways, this is the scenario we're going to build today. Now you'll see these HTTP requests. This is what we're doing for Apify. This is the Apify stuff. Okay, so I actually built and I showed you guys how to build this scenario in make.com, and this is what it looks like in Make. So this is virtually the same scenario in Make into n8n. Now, when I run this in Make, okay, well, since I'm just scraping one YouTube channel, it actually only runs one scenario, but I have like Apify scenarios where it will like scrape a bunch of Twitter posts, for example, and then it needs to iterate through them. So say if it scrapes 300 and then there's an iterator and then there's this other module, it could add up to like 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, even maybe 2K operations, right? So it's very, resource intense in terms of your operations, right? So this is why Make or n8n just comes in clutch, right? Now, it's a bit more, I'd say it's a bit more difficult, but once you get the hang of it, it's super, super easy. It's really not difficult. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't get overwhelmed. We're blessed with having AI that can answer any question you have if you ever get stuck. For one, you have this video where I'm going to walk you through it step by step and hold your hand. And then we have the documentation of n8n and Apify, which literally will pretty much answer any questions as well. So you really have all the resources at your disposal here, and there's nothing to worry about. It's actually very simple. So I'm going to walk you through exactly how this works. So if you're new to n8n, basically what you do is you start off, of course, similar to what we always do when we're doing automation with. So the way it works too is I'll just show you. Show you here. Okay, so what's going to happen is I'll do it on this one too. Okay, so once I change this status right here to scrape channel n8n, actually I'm going to do something different. I'll show you what I'm going to do, but basically I change the status here. It's going to trigger the webhook. It's going to get the record ID. It's going to run the Apify actor. Then once the actor is complete, it's going to trigger this to get the dataset ID of that result. Then we're going to use that dataset ID to get the data. From that point on, we're going to update the record in the Airtable, and we get the Airtable ID from here, which is from the webhook, so we know what record we're going to update with all the new data from Apify. And then a little bit different than make.com, you're not able to just, so for example, once I show you right here in the Airtable, that's what it looks like. For the thumbnail, okay, I don't even have a thumbnail field here because we're not using it, but you can't just put the thumbnail URL in here, or you can't even just, you can't HTTP to the URL, get the URL of the thumbnail, download it, and then put the binary into directly Airtable. API doesn't allow that. If that doesn't make sense at all, what I'm saying, don't worry. Don't even need to know what that means. Basically, you just have to do an HTTP request to Airtable to put the thumbnail in. All right, so yeah, that's how it works. So what we're going to be using is Airtable to host the channels, the data, and then Apify to do the scraping, and n8n to do the automations. Okay, so I'm actually going to change it around too as well. So I'm going to we're actually not going to use this. Okay, so and now before I remove that, let me just make sure I get it correctly first too. So, okay, so YouTube here. All right, so I'm going to copy this and we're actually going to do it this way. So I'm going to do conditional logic. If, and then we're going to do automation is make.com. Then we're going to run this webhook. And then if automation is n8n, then we're going to run this script. All right, this script, I'll leave it in the description down below. This is the standard, Airtable script that I use to send a webhook to either make or n8n. All it basically is, and it doesn't even need this base URL record, but we'll leave it there for example. We're just going to pass a record, a variable of ID here. The record ID is the name, Airtable record ID right here. And we could just because I'll do it, I'll just pass this here through. Even though I never even use the base record URL, I've just always had it there. So you don't need that, but you're passing the record ID through. So you're just adding a variable here. Okay. This is your webhook URL. So this is what we're going to generate from either n8n or from make, right? So what this is basically doing is once we trigger this condition of having YouTube channel scrape to scrape channel, depending on if the automation is set to make.com or n8n, it's going to send it to one or the other, right? This webhook goes to make, this webhook goes to n8n. Like I said, I'm still going to be using make, so n8n. So sometimes I may want to use make, sometimes I want to use n8n, and I can just select that right here. Very simple. Okay, so for this purpose, obviously we're using n8n and there, so that's good for that. That's the trigger that we're setting up. Now you just put a webhook here for your n8n scenario. When you're in testing, you're going to use your test URL, and you could also change the path here. So I'll just change this to scrape YouTube channel. That's something cool too that you can do within your n8n tool, is that you can actually like have more customization. I really am loving n8n, to be honest, so far, especially just the unlimited scenarios. I mean, it's definitely saving me a bunch of money, like over time. Just saving, it's not even really the money. It's just like, it's just awesome to have the freedom that it has in terms of like unlimited scenarios or executions or nodes, and as well as like I'm still getting used to, I'm still learning like and implementing some of these things, but there's way more nodes. Like I'm really excited to get into these advanced AI options. You can run code in here, whether it's Python, JavaScript. I hope they can incorporate more options for the Python code. Like I hope you can import libraries and stuff, because you can't do that right now. But yeah, so we're doing a trigger, then we're going to an Airtable get record. So anytime like these nodes, you just go here, you click on the plus, and I would just type in Airtable, right? I would click this and click on get a record, right? So I'm not gonna like show you every little thing you need to do if you're new to n8n, but basically I'll just kind of briefly explain it. You're gonna need to connect to, when you're connecting to different apps, it's a bit different than with like make.com, especially for well, yeah, it's a bit different from pretty much all the different apps. Some of them are a bit easier, some of them are harder, whatever. They're all pretty simple though if you know what you're doing, and there's documentation. So you're gonna need to connect new credential, and then through Airtable you can really only connect. I don't think you can do access token anymore. I just did O2 auth, OAuth 2. So you're going to need a client secret and a client ID. And then you just put your OAuth redirect URL. So the way you do that is, I believe if we go here, open docs, is going to show us Airtable. Yeah, Airtable credentials. I hate how it always does this for me. It always redirects me with like the affiliate thing to the homepage. Super annoying. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, so I guess you can do personal access token. Okay, so yeah, you can do those two methods. Yeah, I'm not gonna like walk you through how to exactly connect to Airtable. Like, just read this. Pretty simple. Yeah, Airtable register new integration documentation. So you're gonna want to go to Airtable here into the developer side, OAuth integration, and then yeah, you're gonna want to set up an integration. I think it's under, maybe under personal. Was it here? Oh no, it's in the create OAuth. But yeah, just do that. Okay, if you really have any questions about it, like, let me know in the comments down below. But there's documentation right there. It's pretty straightforward. You're just setting that up. Once you do that, yeah, once you do that, you'll be able to see your credentials here, and you're gonna use those credentials, right? Then we're doing a resource, which is a record, and the operation is a get, and it's automatically gonna be these settings right here, just because that's what we searched up. Then you're gonna select your base, all right? Similar to what you do with any, you know, whether it's make.com or whatever. We're selecting our viral stride content operating system, and then we're selecting our table, which for me is channels. Then the record ID. Okay, so the one thing is, when you're building this out, you'll be able to test the workflow either there or test here. You can do test step. From what I've been seeing, like, once you start getting to like 4 or 5 steps, it really won't let you just like test a singular step, which is kind of annoying. I don't know if there's a workaround, let me know. But yeah, that's what I found. So like, I would have to typically test the whole thing to actually get you the data, and I'll do that in a second. But basically, as you're building it through, you would just be testing it. So test it. You want to send the webhook info here. Then you're going to see a schema, and you can drag the record ID schema over into record ID. So that's how it works within n8n. I'll show you a little bit more in a second, but we're just getting the record ID, all right? Putting that there. Then it's going to give all the information. Like, I don't think I can just, okay, wait, we need to trigger something. Okay, so I could do, okay, I'll just run it once just so we can get some data here while I'm showing you. Okay, so, oops. Go here, where were we? There. And then here, we're going to test workflow. And I'm going to, I have to have n8n here. I'm going to go scrape channel. Now this should pull in our trigger any second. Oh wait, did I change the URL? Oh, I did. Okay, cool. So as you can see, it already ran the actor, since it's a very quick actor, since we're just, okay, so it literally already got the data right here. Oh, this is Andrew Huberman. And yeah, Andrew Huberman's awesome. If you haven't checked out his stuff, I would definitely recommend it. Super, super valuable videos. But okay, so at least now we have some data while I'm showing you. So here, you can see here, this is the trigger. So I just grab the record ID here, and you just drag it over like so. Okay. You can see the output here. You can either choose to see it in table format, JSON, or schema. So with n8n, you typically will learn a bit, like, to work a bit more and read a bit more of JSON. JSON is super easy to read. Very, very, like, it's very easy to read. But yeah, just a learning process, guys. So just be patient. It's actually very simple once you get the hang of it. All right. I just don't want to be someone who's saying, oh, it's so simple. It's so simple. And it's like, you're like banging your head against the wall. It's simple once you get the hang of it, and you have ChatGPT and AI to ask questions to. So literally that's just what I do. All right. I'm not some genius who just figures it out really quickly. I'm just someone that like is patient. If I encounter an issue, I have ChatGPT or Perplexity open on my right hand screen, and I just ask it the question, hey, I'm building out an n8n scenario. How do I connect to Apify or what, like whatever the case may be, right? If I need to connect to a certain app and I can't figure out where the API endpoint is, I'll just feed it the documents to AI. Hey, if I'm trying to do this, what endpoint should I use? How do I build out the format, right? That's what we're going to get to in just a second. So once you actually build this out too for the actor integration for like an app, you can literally just reuse that and you won't have to worry about like going through the complexities of building it out again, unless you're building out different actions. All right. So I'll show you what I mean in a second. So these are 3 HTTP nodes. Right here is the run actor node. So the way we set this up is you're going to need to do an authentication or, okay, so I'll show you this. So let me pull up Apify here. So here we have the Apify docs. Let me just refresh. Okay, so Apify docs, you would go to API reference, and this is on their main website, so you can click on documentations, go to their website. Please load. Okay, cool, we're loading. Yeah, so it's kind of long, but it explains everything very, very easily. And I'll show you what we're using. You actually technically wouldn't even need to go here if you just kind of know what you're doing and you follow what I'm showing you, but I'm going to show you anyways. So authentication, very standard authentication through the headers that we're going to do. So authorization as the header, and as the add the token to your request authorization header as bearer, and then your API token. So you can it tells you where to get your API token. It's within your Apify. I'm not gonna like go in and show you. It literally just, yeah, you can find it under your integrations page in Apify console. So either figure that out, go to it, or go to the docs here, and then you just click this button and it will show you your API key. All right, I'm gonna show you how to add that in a second. All right, so you add it as a token, and then yeah, you will be good. And then here's all the references that you would need to do. For us, get data set. So data set. Get data set. Okay, I'll just show you what I did. That's just to keep it simple, so I don't have to scroll through and find each and every action. These are the actions you'll use. So this is the URL. To run an actor, you would do a post HTTP, and this is what you would put: https://api.apify.com/v2/ax. And then this is your actor ID. All right. The way you find your actor ID is if I go to Apify over here. Where's Apify here? Like for example, Apify. And if I want to go to YouTube channel scraper, this right here. So not this first one. The digits that are after the actors and then /. This ID right here before input, I would just copy that, and then I come back over to n8n just to show you. Is this the same one? Yeah, I think I just missed the 4. Let me just double check here. Yeah, so it's this one. Okay. Ungroup. So that's the actor ID. Then your authentication, I put generic credential type, and then I did header off. All right, so generic auth type is header off. And then for your header off, right now I'm selecting Apify authorization. You could actually just go here and do, like, you could actually just technically add the headers, send a header. Like you see here, I'm sending a header as the name content-type, and then the value as application JSON. I could add my authorization header here as well. The reason I'm not doing that is because, like, you can literally just save them here and it makes it easy so you can use that authorization. It's like a key in the future. But also too, this is good when I'm doing this video, so you're not going to see my authorization. But all you would do is you would just put authorization, and then that's what you do in the name, and then the value is error, and then you would paste in your API key. Okay, very, very simple. But yeah, so once you can actually, ooh, okay, so good, it's actually blurred out here, but this is my Apify authorization, boom, and yeah, that's it. But let me just see. If I go here, you can create a new credential and then you just put it in there. It's very simple. You save it, you put a name to it, you're good to go. Then you're going to select to send a body. Body content type is JSON, and let's just see here. Body type is JSON. You're using JSON, and this is actually what we're going to get from, if we go to YouTube channel scraper, I put in a test right here, start like a YouTube channel. And then if I go to JSON, this is this JSON text. So we're sending this JSON text over. The only difference is I'm removing that URL and I'm putting the YouTube handle URL, and that YouTube handle URL is coming from our last node, which is Airtable right here, where we're getting the record, and I'm just pulling over the YouTube handle URL. So right here. So essentially all you need to scrape, to start the scraper, is the YouTube handle URL. So you just paste the YouTube handle URL in, and then you would put your, for me, I would put my automation. You don't need this part, but you would just scrape the channel and it would get going. So this is how you start the scraper. And you can see here, if I was to test the output, which I can't do singular right now because I have the full automation built. But you can see the data that we got from the last run is right here on the right hand side. You can view it in table or in JSON or the schema as well. All right, really cool stuff. Hope that makes sense. Rewatch that if you need to. It's really not that difficult once you get the hang of it. Once you take some time, get your head around it. If you're new, you'll be hitting the field running. Very simple. All right, next, that's great. We ran the actor. Good job. If you made it this far, give yourself a pat on the back. Very good. You actually, probably the next few are going to be very easy, because all you're going to need to do from that point on, right click this, duplicate it. So now you don't have to worry about all this other stuff with the authorization. The only things you're going to need to change are the URL. So now we're doing https://:/ api.apify.com/v2/actor-runs/ and then we're pulling the data ID. This is actually the, what is this? Okay, so this is the, let me just make sure. Now we're pulling in the data set ID, is it? No. Interesting. I guess it's the data ID. Okay, well, it worked, so I guess that's what it is. For some reason, I thought it was the data set ID. Maybe they both work. I don't know. But yeah, it looks like we're using the data ID, which is here. If you do encounter any issues doing it this way, then try it with the default data set ID. Maybe they're similar. I don't even know what the exact difference is. Anyways, and then we're doing question mark and then wait for finish. You actually don't need to send this parameter through. You could though. This is just waiting. Oh yeah, actually you would want to send this through. So it's actually waiting for it to finish. So if it's taking a long time, it will wait. I don't even know if you necessarily need this or not for it to wait. I think you may. But yeah, I don't, yeah, you could try this or not, whatever. So just wait for finish equals 300. So it's going to wait 300 seconds if needed. Same header authentication. And then we're sending the same headers, just content type application. And then we're not even sending a body because all this is doing. Oh yeah. So this is a get. So this is a get because we're getting this when it's complete. And let me just see, double check. It didn't. The first one is a post. The second one, so to run the actor is a post. To wait until the actor is complete is a get. And then we're going to duplicate that as well. And this is where we're going to actually get the data. Okay, so actually, no, this is where we use the default data set ID. So the last one, we don't do that. I was right. Okay. So I was getting them mixed up here. I was thinking we were getting the last one. So now that the actor is complete, now we get the default data set ID. The URL is https://api.apify.com/v2/datasets/ and then we're pulling in the variable of default data set ID. You just go there and then you would copy and put it right there. And then / did I just change it at all? Okay, / items and then question mark format equals JSON. Okay. Same authentication, nothing's new here. And then yeah, that's literally it. So you can see the output on the right hand side. And yeah, so if you literally just did all three of those, now you know how to run Apify in n8n. So congrats, you just literally set up everything through the HTTP endpoints to connect. If this is your first app you're connected to that doesn't have a node, then good for you. Now you know how to do that in the future. Now you know how to use Apify for any single scraping build that you're using in n8n. And that's awesome for you. And I probably just saved you a bunch of money from not having to use Make or Zapier or whatever for all your different scenarios, for all your scraping needs. All right. I definitely saved you a bunch of money because trust me, when I say if you're doing this at high volume, it starts to add up. Like, yeah, I think, yeah, it starts to add up. You could, like, if at this rate that I'm going, I'd probably at least be saving an extra couple $100 a month, just from scraping needs, not even including like business scenarios and all this stuff, right? And we're continuously building out more and more scenarios and builds. So yeah, that number only goes up, right? Next, you're going to need to update the records in Airtable. So this is pretty easy. You're just updating a record. So you're just grabbing the base, the table, and then the record ID. And if you need to reference a node or a value from a node in a previous, not the most recent one, you can just click here. And as you can see, we're referencing the Airtable one right here. So we go to Airtable. I'm grabbing that record ID here. Then we are doing the get data. I put in the title here, creator. Not the YouTube handle because we already have that. Then I changed the status to channel complete. I'm pulling in, like, you'll see all the data you get here. I got the subscriber count, view count, video count, description, YouTube links, the country, and let's see here, YouTube join date, YouTube channel URL and YouTube channel ID. A few things I like a lot about n8n is, I'm not going to explain it super in depth here, but you'll see with when I did it with make, there was actually a bunch of other stuff I needed to do just because of due to like arrays and okay, so this is the arrays for the, what is this, the how to use an array aggregator to get the links and then put them in a text aggregator here. And then this is actually, I could actually delete this. This actually don't need. So it would actually just be like this. Okay. I think I had to, yeah, I had to use a text parser too with the thumbnail here to get the correct thumbnail size, I believe. So I had to do a few more things. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's a workaround in make, but it was a little, there's not, yeah, there's a few more things. That's why I think, like, you know, this is like an example of where n8n has a bit more freedom. It shows you every single, like, where's the thumbnail? Oh, wait. Okay, so that, yeah, that's the avatar. Anyways, yeah. So, yeah, with, basically, it was just easier on n8n. It gives you more freedom, more functionality is from what I've been seeing. Anyways, yeah, so we're adding the links here, which is just all the different links and yeah, all that stuff. So as you'll notice, I didn't add in the avatar. All right, so the image, and now what I'm about to show you will apply to like this, any image or, you know, video or whatever that you're adding into Airtable. So you can't just, like with make, I could actually just go here and you'll see all I had to do for the channel image is put the resized image of the avatar link here and the file URL, and it just uploads directly to Airtable. Very easy. With n8n, it's a bit more challenging, but it's really not that difficult. Once it was kind of like, it took me a little bit to figure all this out, by the way, like everything, but now that I figured it out, it shouldn't be too hard for you to just copy what I did here. So we're doing an HTTP request to Airtable. The method is a patch, all right, because we're updating the already made record ID. The Airtable URL is going to be Airtable, and then this is going to be your base ID, and this, the next is going to be either, it can either be your table name or your table ID. I just table ID because all my tables have emojis in it, and then that just makes it into like Unicode strings or characters, whatever, for emoji. Just easier for me to do table ID. And you can check out Airtable's documentation on this too if you need to, or ask ChatGPT to make it to explain it as well. And then another / and then we're just passing in the record ID, and we're using the record ID from our update records module. This is the one we just used, so I just drag that over. All right, so this is the URL we're sending over. You're gonna also have to authenticate through Airtable. Okay, so you're gonna need to do a similar thing that you did with Apify with Airtable. So you can check Airtable's API docs. All right, it's going to show you how to get an authorization token as well. I think it's a personal access token. So yeah, you would just get that token, do a similar thing. You would save that there. All right. If you like really struggle on figuring that out, and let me know in the comments, but before you do that, one, just check the docs because it literally has it there. And two, if you ever run into an issue, ask ChatGPT or Perplexity, like, hey, where do I get, yes, Perplexity, where's the Airtable API docs, or how do I like get authorization through a webhook or through a HTTP request? We'll literally show you how, or tell you how. It's very simple. So yeah, you get that. This is the URL string that you would need. And it's also going to show you, like, it's going to take you to something, basically like a API doc thing specifically for your base, and it will show you like all the potential things that you could use, endpoints that you could use for like things in your table. So if you need to figure out where you get your base ID, your table ID, check the Airtable API docs and ask Perplexity or ChatGPT if you like can't figure that out. But yeah, once you get that done, you get the URL, the authentication. You're also going to, yeah, you don't need to send any headers, but you're going to send the body, and the body, you're going to make it raw. All right. And the application type is application/JSON. And this is what you're going to send. So we're just sending this right here. So fields, this right here, you would change to whatever your field is. For me, it's this emoji and then YT channel image. And then the URL is going to be the avatar URL channel. Where is that? Oh, we're actually referencing not here. We're getting it from get data. So I'm grabbing the avatar here and I'm just dragging it over. Boom. And then this is just our JSON. So I'll put this in the description too, just so you have it. I believe it shows this in the docs, or I either got it from the docs or from like Perplexity or Airtable or from ChatGPT. But I'll put this add image HTTP to Airtable that you're gonna do for a patch request. I'll put that in the description along with the other code that I mentioned. Okay, so once you do that, you have your full build. All right. So just to go over one more time, we're getting our trigger here, then we're getting our record to get all the Airtable information, and we're sending that through an HTTP post to Apify, right? Then we're getting then we're using an HTTP GET to get that data once it is done running. Then finally, we're using a HTTP, what is this? This is another GET, I believe. Yeah, I think it's a GET. Yeah, GET method to get the dataset ID. And then we're updating the record in Airtable. And then we are doing an HTTP patch to Airtable's API to send that image over. All right, so this same concept, when you're scraping with Apify, you'll typically either just get a bunch of fields that are text, and that's when you would add that in through like an Airtable node like this. Anytime you get like a image or a like a video or something, and you want to add that to Airtable, you would have to use this method right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So I'll show you one more time. Let's just go to YouTube right here. Let's just grab an example channel. Let's just say I'm browsing on YouTube and I find a channel that I want. Let's just say prompt engineering. Okay, so say I want to grab this guy's right here, copy. I'll go over here. I would add, oops, sorry. Go like this, add channel. Type in the YouTube channel handle like this. It's already on n8n. I would just put this to scrape channel. And let's just watch the magic unfold here if everything goes well. Oh, I need a test. Also too, once you're done testing, you can change your webhook URL to production URL and then make this active. Let me just send this through again. Scrape channel. So we should get this any sec. Oh, boom, look how fast it's going. Okay, we're gonna see this populate right here. Boom. Prompt engineering. I click on this. See the logo here. All right. All this information we got. Really cool stuff, guys. All right. So this is very powerful. You have unlimited scenarios. It's free. It's awesome. It's great. But yeah, you want to see more stuff like this, because this is like just the tip of the iceberg that I've been building. I've been building a lot of stuff. Like I said, I'm still getting, you know, more accustomed to n8n. I really love the tool. It's really great. But if you want to see more of this stuff, as well as additional builds, as well as if you have any suggestions on what you want to see, let me know in the comments down below, and make sure to smash that subscribe button, because if you're new to the channel, we upload videos every day showing you how to build out valuable automations, leverage AI, improve your productivity, your business, your personal life, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I got a lot of really cool stuff planned in the works for you guys. So make sure to follow along and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date. Also, too, guys, if you're new to this channel and you haven't already joined the Stride community, I don't know what you're doing yet, but join the free Stride community. It's currently free. We actually are planning on doing a paid community in the future. So yeah, while you still can, join the Stride community. We have about 750 now, I think 80 or to about 800 give or take members in our free Facebook group and Discord channel. So just go to Stride community. Link for that will be in the description down below. You can network with myself as well as other like-minded automation experts, AI enthusiasts, business owners, entrepreneurs alike, etc. We're building a really awesome community here, guys, as this channel grows. So yeah, and then also too, guys, if you want to check out my free not my free book, if you want to check out my book, Client Acquisition Code, it is very in-depth, and if you think this video gave you a lot of value, there's nothing compared to what's inside this book here. So it's very in-depth. It's not just some fluff book that, you know, ebook that someone wrote with AI. It actually took me about 2 to 3 years of planning and research and building and writing this book to actually get it to the finished copy. So put my blood, sweat, and tears, and my heart and my soul into it. So yeah, definitely check that out if that's of interest to you, of client acquisition. It's called Client Acquisition Code, getting more leads for your business, automating your workflows, running paid ads, doing organic marketing, doing YouTube, all that good stuff. There's 13 chapters of pure value, actionable advice. Other than that, guys, I will see you in tomorrow's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Keep hustling, keep grinding, and of course, accelerate your stride. Take care, guys.